I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
All right, we're back with Oops the Podcast. This is a very special episode, mainly because this is a huge week for one of us. Giulio, my co-host, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome
Hello.
back.
Hello.
Good to
Thank
see you, friend. You are staring down a major moment in your career.
I hope so, dude.
Are you nervous?
No, not really.
Let's tell them what you're doing. Can you tell them what you're
Yeah,
doing?
no, I'm doing a Netflix thing. It's
That's not enough. Need
part
more.
of an ensemble cast.
A Netflix thing is not. What are you? Come on. What do you got?
I'm shooting a stand up for part of like a Netflix ensemble.
There we go.
Thing.
That's awesome.
Which is gonna be very exciting. I'm very psyched about it. The only things that I'm nervous about are like logistical things, where it's like out of nowhere, just like having a cold sore or something, or
That's a logistical thing to you?
okay, fine, maybe not, but like things that will like the performance itself, I'm not worried about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, dude, I don't know what it is. Like, I just don't have this like. I don't feel the pressure to compare my stand up to like the best stand up that exists. So like, I'm not that nervous about it. Like if people are like, if people like don't think it was that good, like that, the idea of that doesn't even bother me.
Well,
now I think it will be good, but like, yeah, I don't know.
That's a very interesting point to me because I would not have necessarily said that what you mentioned is typically a source of fear or anxiety for people heading into this. To me, it's every time I've ever had anything, which really isn't often, but preparing for a big thing that was going to be taped.
I mean, you taped a special. It was your own special.
Yeah, but my fear going into that was not how would it compare or how would it be received. It was I don't want to screw up.
Right.
I don't want to screw up because there's so much at stake here. There's a camera crew that's been hired. I only get 2 cracks at it. And what if there's a heckler? Things like that.
Right. So, but it's a controlled environment though. So like they could just kick out the heckler and then continue the show. You know what I mean? Since that's my only thought on that.
I guess that's true. But if you flub a joke, that's the kind of thing. Like you get the wording wrong, you freeze up, you get a dry, itchy mouth, that kind of cough that comes every once in a while.
Yeah.
That tickle in your throat.
That happened to me last night while I was running my set. Actually, I started, I was doing a little bit of that. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I didn't know why I was doing that. But to your point, 100%. But you literally can be like, I'm going to start that over.
Yes, you can.
That sucks to do. You don't want to do that.
They're on your side though.
Totally.
And this has been the case for decades. Think of TV studio audiences. Mm-hmm. Anytime you had that laugh track at Seinfeld or Friends or God, I went to some stupid show with that woman from that show, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Was it Joan Hart?
Yeah.
What?
She had a show on ABC Family with some other guy.
Wasn't Clarissa Explains It All?
No, I don't think it was that. I think he was her nanny. He had a shaved head. He was very strong.
You went to the live studio recording of that?
Let me tell you something.
What, dude, what?
So when I was a senior in college.
What the fuck?
When I was a senior in college, there's...
what the fuck is the story, dude?
Allow us to take a slight detour, but I do want to get... This is your day,
dude,
so...
It's fine.
Slight detour here. The scenic route.
My favorite.
They had this thing at school. We all of a sudden came at like from my first 3 years in college. I don't know. We'd get 2 weeks off at Christmas, but out of nowhere, they decided to add more time and create this thing called J term, where it was a month or something in January, a month between Christmas and the start of the spring semester, where you could do like an internship or a job study or research for your thesis. I don't even know. They added more time for people to kind of explore stuff, career exploration, job applications, things like that. And I applied for a grant and got a funding to go do this thing called, they were calling it Harvard Wood, which was pretty corny, but it was basically...
What's the play on words there?
Hollywood.
Got it.
in Harvard.
I was like hardwood, like the basketball court.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. Okay,
No, it
that
was
makes
like
sense.
for people who were interested in the entertainment industry to go out to LA and get basically a week-long tour with panels
Yeah.
of talking to writers' rooms, agents,
That's cool.
casting directors, every aspect. We went and saw a sound stage as they were scoring an episode of Family Guy.
That's cool.
It was really cool.
That's cool.
There were some parts of it that were incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a 25-part orchestra that is
Wow.
playing this crazy, music as Peter Griffin and Stewie are like throwing up on each other or something.
Dude, that's insane.
Which, I mean, it was amazing to think about how much goes into an episode of this cartoon, basically.
That's fucked up. There's like a full symphony. He's like, "Hey, Lois."
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking.
Yeah, and they had to
nuts.
run it a bunch of times,
Jesus.
But it also opens your eyes to how much
I know.
the entertainment industry provides work for so many different people, whether it's caterers or makeup artists or or orchestral musicians.
Yeah.
Um.
Dude, I'll never forget. Like, remember forgetting Sarah Marshall when he's like scoring shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, that movie's good.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
I always thought that was a job that I could have tried to do.
Dude, I feel like you could have totally.
Playing the music and making up the
Mm.
music for like CSI. Anyway, so we were being bussed around and doing all this crap. And why did I bring this
Because
up?
you went to see the live taping of Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, that was one of the stops for us.
Got it.
And we had to go and, it was some dumb show on ABC Family. Look up and see what her show was on ABC Family. Melissa Joan Hart, ABC Family. Terrible show. I think she,
So these
whatever.
were all, you were kind of like going around all the different lots and seeing
Yeah.
it all. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a tour of like Fox Studios and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it. Melissa and Joey.
Melissa
That's what it was
and
called.
Joey.
Yep.
Love it.
It's not going to be great when it's an eponymously named show after two actors that don't necessarily deserve an eponymously named show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you hate to see it. Even in like the Kanye doc, they were like showing these rappers who were supposed to be the guy, and they just
Mhm.
like it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's tough out there, dude.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you my like story? I tested for a network TV show. It actually ended up coming out. It was called Forever. It's like it did 20 episodes. It was like Judd Hirsch and fucking exactly.
I don't know
But
who that is.
it doesn't. It wasn't like a hit show by any means. But the pay still for those shows is wild. And
Really?
You sign your contract when you go through like the quote testing process, as you know.
Yeah.
But so the pay was outrageous. It was like I would have made $500,000 or something.
For season 1?
Yeah.
Just as
for
a
those 20
principal?
episodes. Yep. And this is like the
Wow.
and
That is really good.
I know. And I think I'd only tested for one other thing. So like your quote goes up a little bit each time, but like
Mhm.
not much. So I was making like the baseline amount, right?
Yeah.
So I get there and dude, it was the most bizarre process. So the way it works, I guess, once you're down to this part of the process, there's usually 3 people in there who are like quote testing for this part. And these are for like the parts that aren't just like given to John Krasinski.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
these are for like the other main characters. So it was me and these 2 other guys where we were supposed to be a nurse. So I like dressed like a nurse, which like there's schools of thought that say that it's bad to be like extra like that. But in
Mhm.
the same token, I have found it sometimes to be a little helpful.
Like a slutty nurse or
No, not a slutty nurse, a normal nurse.
I'm not gonna lie, that's what I was picturing there.
But dude, I'll never forget this. So one of the guys who was supposed to test with me shows up dressed normal, and he goes, "Oh shit!" He sees me. He goes, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. And he was wearing like
He was just wearing normal clothes.
Okay.
And dude, you know who this guy is? His name's Utkarsh. He's like this famous guy, apparently. I don't know why he's this famous guy, but he'll like be randomly performing at award shows. And I'm like, is the industry just like forcing this guy down our throats? Or is he somebody? Chris, are you finding him? Utkarsh.
I'll tell you what, there's a guy
Utkarsh.
who could have had a show eponymously named after him just based on the show alone, the name
I know,
alone.
I know. It's a good name.
Yeah.
He's known for his film roles, including Pitch Perfect, Blind Spotting, Brittany Runs a Marathon, The Broken Hearts Gallery, Free Guy.
I've heard of Free Guy and Pitch Perfect. I don't know.
I think I know. Wait. Show me him. Is he in from Pitch Perfect? Is he the love interest of Anna Kendrick? No, he's not. Okay, all right.
So-
I got a glimpse.
So, dude, he sits down and he looks at me. He goes, "Which one is this again?"
Wow,
And I was like,
that's a big flex.
Is he like mind fucking me? But I think he actually like is just such a hot shot that he was testing every day or something.
Yeah.
And he just didn't even remember. And then he goes, "Oh shit," and looks at his watch and leaves.
Huh.
And then he just never came back. So I did the director session. Dude, it's crazy. You do the
A
director session.
lunatic.
And then I'm ready. I'm about to go do the network thing, like for the producers or whatever. And the lady comes out. She's like, "Hey, so that other guy who was here, he actually booked something while he was sitting here. So now we don't have anyone else to test you again. And they don't usually like to do that. So yeah." And I was like,
Wait.
"What?" So they just sent me back to New York. And then my agent calls me 2 days later and they were like, "Hey, yeah, sorry, you didn't get it because you like couldn't test against other people." And then my agent never talked to me again. Never talked to me again. I'm not even kidding. Never spoke to me again. Dude, it was the most fucked up thing ever. Can you believe it? This is like in 2015, dude. Or 2014, dude. Isn't that crazy?
It reminds me of still to this day one of my favorite moments we've ever had on the podcast. When you were telling me the story about that other comedian we know
I forget which
who's
one.
crazy, and you were in the car together, and he was like, "Let me call my agent really
Oh.
quick."
Never call
And he
here
called
again.
the agent, and the guy was like, "We don't want to hear from you. Don't call us again."
Never call
and
here
he
again.
hangs up, and he turned to you, and he goes, "What the fuck was that?"
Dude, it's one of the funniest.
Can you
fucking-
believe that shit?
Dude,
Or what did he say?
Fuck? He goes, "What the fuck was that?" Dude, it was so funny, dude. It was insane. But dude, I would argue that those stories are the opposite stories.
They're
though, but
kind of-
equally funny.
Yeah, they're kind of, I don't know, the
Yeah,
contrapositive of
totally.
each other somehow.
Dude, 100%.
That's funny though, man.
Super scarring experience.
Wow. That doesn't make sense to me that you
know.
would have gotten a screen test like that.
Off of a self-tape, too.
And yeah, and then that would have been the end of the road with your agent. Actors who get screen tests are so far down the road of that process.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what the pivot was. Like, I wish there was a world where it was acceptable to just like throw agents under the bus. For some reason, it's just like bad form to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why. I can't put my finger on why, but it does. Anytime I see someone doing it, I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that.
You know what? You know what gives me a little bit of comfort sometimes when I think about that? I mean, I've just been rejected for so many
Oh, yeah.
damn things that I've auditioned for. But I watched recently, it was a compilation of actors who had auditioned for The Office. And the amount of beyond belief successful famous actors who were not cast in the show.
Crazy.
Bob Odenkirk
Wow.
auditioned for Michael. Seth Rogen, I think, auditioned for Dwight. I mean, I can't remember all the names, but if you watch it, it is a who's who of success people.
And
right now.
it's a pretty good testament to the idea of like fame, overnight fame. Like these guys have been at it for a while.
Mhm.
A guy like Bob Odenkirk, like think about how big he is now, but
Right.
he was out there grinding.
It also speaks to, you know, the fact that John Krasinski beat people out, and so did Jenna Fisher, when they were relatively unknowns.
Totally.
I guess gives you some hope that maybe you can win roles even when you're auditioning against bigger people. That said, it's entirely possible that Seth Rogen didn't get rejected for the role, but rather was cast in, you know,
Couldn't agree to the terms. or something.
fucking Pineapple Express, or like had to do any number of his enormously successful things that took him away from it. But what were we talking about?
Me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to finish the reason why I mentioned the Melissa and Joey thing
Oh,
was
yeah.
because when you say it's a little corny or whatever to say, guys, I screwed up that joke, I'm going to take it from the top. Those shows, when we watched that horrible show, live, they would do the scene 4 or 5 times. And the writing team would be there on set just being like, we're going to change this word. We're going to tweak it. We're going to do it this way differently. And they have a warm-up comedian for the audience.
Yeah, well, that's
to
a tough
basically
job.
be like, all right, guys, we're going to do that scene again. You got to laugh as though you've never seen it.
Yeah.
And everybody in that stupid studio, I don't care if you're from Orlando and you're deeply enchanted by being in Hollywood, by the 4th time of watching one of these stupid scenes, you're fake laughing.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. Dude, totally. I used to do a warm-up gig.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to give you guys a little background on this. So the warm-up person, if you've never gone to one of these live events, it's a thing. It's like a comedian will do it. For some reason, it's not a job. It's not like a highly, it is a highly sought after job, but it's not like an illustrious position for some reason. And I'm not like, I'm in no way like shitting on my peers who do this, because it's a great job. You get benefits, you get health insurance, like you get all your like it's a really good paying job, but for some reason, like the community of comedy
frowns
on it.
Give it
It doesn't give it as much as it deserves. Maybe.
It's sort of in step with like performing on cruise ships, probably. No,
it's got to be. I wonder. So this is the thing: when you're doing like cruise ship stuff, you're not really subjected to scorn because no one knows you're doing it. For some reason, when you're doing warm up gigs, you're like getting paid well, whatever, but you're like bottom of the totem pole, and like there's other comedians like working the show for real. And then there's like the warm-up guy. So you kind of just like rank lower. It's almost like being the poorest in a group of people with a lot of money versus the cruise ship person who isn't comparing himself to
You're
anyone else.
the bathroom attendant at the plaza.
Exactly. That's fucked up. Sorry to anybody who does that. But listen, I've done it too. No, I just feel bad shitting on comedians like that, dude.
No,
to, you know what I mean? Whatever. But I've done it. And dude, it's a crazy gig. I used to do it for infomercials, and they would bust these like predominantly women in.
Wait a minute. Infomercials?
Yeah.
What are you talking
about? You'd be
about?
selling like a hair dryer, and they needed warm-up comic. And
you talking about like QVC and stuff?
Type of thing. It wasn't exactly QVC.
So those shows have a live audience?
Yeah. And they have warm-up people, bro. And dude, they make you come in and out every time they change the product. You're doing like 75 minutes of time.
Holy smokes.
And you make like $500-600 for the day, which at the time, was more than I'd ever gotten paid doing comedy. I was probably doing this in like 2011.
Yeah, but that's a grind.
2012, yeah. So I only did a couple of times. Like Ricky used to do it every once in a while, and then Zach McGovern would do it. And a couple of times he couldn't make it, and I filled in for him.
Wow.
And dude, it was crazy. They would bust these women in, and they would feed them all Red Bull, dude. And donuts. Red Bull and donuts. Dude, it was fucked up. And then they'd go in there, and they'd be like, you want to know how to be beautiful? And everyone's like, yeah. And it's like, dude, you just fed them a bunch of donuts, dude. This is so fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, eat whatever you want, but like feeding someone donuts is like without a doubt counterproductive with whatever narrative you're selling.
I see I'm picturing these women on just like 12 Red Bulls, just like,
yeah,
fuck yeah, we want to be beautiful.
Dude, it was crazy.
Start eating each other. I have the distinct impression of people preparing ducks for foie gras, just blasting cornmeal down their gullets to fatten up their livers.
But I was trying to think more about it, and I kind of get the allure. Like, you're from a place where there's not a lot happening. They will literally bus you in for free.
Yeah.
They probably give you $100 or something.
Mm-hmm.
You get free Red Bull and donuts and meals and whatever. And then they probably give you a little goodie bag. You know what I mean? Like, dude, at sporting events, I used to go to every single tent to get the free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A pencil. I'd have my bag of free stupid shit, like the squeeze balls.
Yeah, totally.
Like all that, like Post-it notes. Uh-huh. And I was like, oh, look at all this stuff, dude.
I remember. Sick. Hey, listen, I remember I used to go to like my sister's, travel soccer friggin' tournaments.
Oh, sick.
And there'd be a tent that was doing a raffle. It was always Snickers was always sponsoring
Nice.
youth soccer. And there'd be some guy on a microphone, and you'd get a bunch of tickets, and he'd be like, all right, our next giveaway, number 862B1375. And you'd look at your tickets, you'd have like all these tickets, and be like, it's not me. And no one would respond. You'd be like, they're not here. They're gone.
Do it again.
Another one. They're not coming. They left. I actually saw them leave. I saw them leave with their mom. They hurt their ankle in the game. And there'd be a gaggle of kids leaning over, being like, "No one's here! No one's here! They're not here! They're not here! Move on to the next ticket."
Dude, the thing that was frustrating about that too, the spool of raffle tickets, they would have all the same numbers. The first like 6 numbers are the same, but you don't realize that until like the 4th time. You're like, oh, it's like 3, and you're like, and then just the last number's on, you're like, oh. Yeah, dude, it's so funny. And all you win is like a mini Snickers. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like
They'd
the
be
worst
giving
prize
away
ever.
a tiny little soccer ball that had Snickers branding on it. It's like $9. I mean, I say that's a lot of. I had to. The fact that I was getting paid $1 a weekend to feed Lydia Schroeder's cats. That's 9 weekends of cat feeding
Slave
for me
labor.
to get that ball. That had a lot of value to me.
That's nonsense. Dude.
Oh my
They
God.
fucked you, dude. It is funny though. Being a kid is like what living in communism is like.
Sure.
Because you just have no access to money, so like all goods have value. You're like, oh, this tiny Snickers. Thank you so much, great leader.
Yeah.
Mom.
Listen, dude. I've had conversations with Sierra recently where we've talked about like how to instill the value of money to our children, and she's like, "Well, I don't want them thinking, that blah 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 this," and I'm like, I don't necessarily know that I want them to feel the pain of like desperately trying to seek Lydia Schroeder's cat money. Like, I don't know that the other side of the coin is correct either. I don't want them to feel the pain of Mao's glorious revolution, where the farmers had to give so much of their crops to the state that they were starving to death. I don't want my children to be emaciated and suffering from rickets. Anyway.
Dude, apparently he never smiled because his teeth were so fucked up.
Is that right?
I think so. And then I started realizing that maybe that's why like no one ever smiled in pictures. Like, and I also like this is the other thing too I've noticed recently. Like when you smile a lot as you get older, it makes your face look wrinklier. So maybe you're self-conscious about that too. I don't fucking know. That was a really quick shift.
No, I know. I think Ashley once told me that men who age with wrinkles actually look good, and ever since she told me that, I've embraced the lines of my face.
You don't have a liney face, dude. I have a liney face.
I gotta.
I'm squinty and
they come out. I look like the inside of an oak tree.
I have crazy crow's feet, dude.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck though, bro.
But when you're smiling, that's supposed to happen.
Yeah. Dude, no, I don't care, dude. I saw Diane Keaton walking down the street, no work done on her face, wearing a flat brim hat that said "dope" in capital letters. I was like, that is goals, bro.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is sick.
How do you know she hasn't had any work done?
She supposedly has not had any work done. But like, who knows? Maybe that's how good the work that has been done is.
There you go.
That we think there's been no work done.
There you go.
I'm not against like getting work done, to be honest.
No.
Eventually.
No.
Get a little bow teasy.
I just don't know that I care.
Bow tizzle.
We've talked about this before. I think that as comedians, we are granted the benefit of being able to age stupidly.
I guess,
It
yeah.
adds to our funniness.
That's funny. I guess you're right.
It's fine to look like shit. All right. Wait, we got to go back. We've jumped around a lot. This is another classic
good jumping.
harebrained leapfrogging episode.
It's good to do it.
Back to you, which is all the way back to your Netflix taping. You taking jokes again, screwing them up. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And you get 2 cracks at it, correct?
Yes.
2 shows?
2 shows. And listen, the sets are not that long. Now granted, I'm not like diminishing anything. It's just, I've seen people prepare for hour specials, like you or just like other friends and stuff. And like that is such a monumental task. This was definitely much more manageable as far from a content perspective. I feel pretty comfortable with the set, I think, knock on wood, famous last words. But I'm just like worried about something out of my control happening. Like some kind of out of nowhere, there's an insane COVID. I know we're taping in 3 days, but like, like things that are out of my control, essentially.
What day do you tape?
Friday.
And are you flying on Thursday?
No, Wednesday.
Smart.
Going a little early. Staying at the Audition for a night, treating myself.
Wow, you bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
a bad boy.
Uh-huh. Hill dog coming out with you?
The dog's out there already,
Oh,
dude.
she's out there.
Uh-huh.
She gonna stay at the Addition with you?
She's gonna stay with me the whole time, yeah. And then we're staying elsewhere for the next 4 nights, also somewhere good. I guess it doesn't matter. I can.
Are you
say.
gonna do that thing that high school football players do, where you tell her no hanky panky? I need to be.
No,
I want to be seething at the mouth.
I'm not. No, I'm not gonna do that.
For this performance.
I don't believe in that.
No, I don't think that would. I think that would be counterintuitive.
Yeah, dude.
I don't want you like one of those donut-fed Red Bull greased women at your show. You know,
Yeah, dude. Totally.
frothing.
So once I find out what the deal is with COVID testing and shit, I want to hit some hikes. I have a couple hikes that I love out there, and I have just a couple of things that I love doing out there, dude. I love hitting Wee Spa, the Korean spa.
I don't, but okay.
I've mentioned it probably many episodes ago, but I love the Korean spa. I fucking
For some
love
reason, when you said Wee Spa, I just pictured like a WeWork place that had a spa. Like,
That's funny.
you
No,
could
it's
go there.
WI.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, it's the best. And then, hit up. I haven't been to LA since fall of 2020. Last year was actually the first year I didn't go to LA in a decade. So like, it's
Wow.
been a minute. I'm excited to get back out there, do the shit I like to do, try to see people.
Will you jump on a show before yours?
So I have one booked on Thursday. I think I'm going to cancel.
Where is it at?
It's in Culver City, and a very good friend put me on, so I should probably call him today. But I've done it before. It's like bar showy. It's still good, and people expect the show. But I don't want to I have a proper spot tonight, and if it goes decent, I'm going to probably hang it up for a couple days and go in fresh because I don't want to have a bad set and doubt
Dude,
it.
the night before my my special. So fortunately, the Providence Comedy Connection knew that I was going up to Boston to tape on Friday, and they were like, "Listen, if you want to run the show on Wednesday, we'll have you."
Sweet.
And I got to run my hour. I think I did 2 shows on Wednesday, which felt great. But then on Thursday, I was in Boston, and I felt like I had to do another set.
Mhm.
I don't know why. Just didn't want to lose the heartbeat. And I did some really crummy basement of a sort of Thai restaurant show in Brookline. And
God.
I wanted to make sure that I got to sleep at a decent time. And so I think I took an edible on the way to the show,
Oh my God.
knowing that I would do my set and then be off stage, and then it would kick in.
Oh.
But sure enough, I got
Oh,
to the
yeah.
show, and they were like, we had a couple people that I need to go up before you,
Oh no.
if that's
dude.
all right. And I was like, oh boy.
Dude, that's like Navy SEAL training, bro. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. You take an edible to run your hour the night before your
No,
special.
I wasn't running my hour. I was just doing 10 minutes.
Okay.
But I was working on a little chunk that I just
Got
wanted one more ironing through.
Totally.
And so fortunately, again, I didn't care about the spot. Even if I had bombed, I wouldn't have cared.
Mhm.
But of course, I got on stage, I took the mic, and it was as if the lights hitting me in the face were what lit the match that sent the edible coursing through my veins.
Oh God, dude.
And I immediately started, I think I came out immediately and told everyone. I was like, I thought I was going to go earlier on this show. I took an edible. It's working. So here we go. And they were laughing and they were
Oh,
on
that's
board.
right.
But the funniest part was,
That's what you have to do that when you're too high.
yeah.
If it's by accident, you need to let them know.
Yeah. And for the record, I never perform high. I can't, I have no interest in it, but I knew I was going to be super stressed and I wanted to go to bed as soon as I got back from that spot. But anyway.
Well, dude, performing high, this is funny. One time a guy gave me a mushroom microdose and I was like, oh, dope. I took it. And then he's like, oh, dude, my bad. That was weed. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's such a different thing. Like a mushroom microdose, you barely feel it. Weed, you're just, and 5 minutes later, I'm ripped, dude.
5 minutes?
No. So I had taken it, a half hour went by, 40 minutes went by.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going on stage in 15 minutes and the guy tells me, and then it hits me and I go on stage and I'm like, yo, I'm so fucking high, but it's not my fault.
Yeah.
And I
right.
explained it and it was fine. I can perform high sometimes, but I need to do it during a teeny tiny window.
Mhm.
I have a literal 20-minute window before I just start being
Yeah.
and lose all my charisma and everything about my personality that makes me somebody who can do what I do,
Yeah.
it's all gone. It's me without any of my personality, essentially. I'm just like a fucking silhouette of myself, dude. It's crazy.
Okay, so you've got this big night. Now, you know, you're going to have a good time in LA. You guys got some parties planned for after?
Dude, I don't know. And
I bet there's going to be something
so
fun.
I'm kind of like, I'm sort of just like ready to roll with the punches on that one. Like I wouldn't be surprised if stuff kind of pops up last minute or there's like a pivot from the original plan. And that pivot will be something that I likely should do. If that makes sense. You know, like we'll be supposed to have gone, we're supposed to be going to some party and then, you know, the boss man will be like, we're not doing that. We're going here. And we'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like
That's
we
cool.
are all sort of like his loyal subjects.
Of course.
Especially on a weekend like this where
Well,
we're
his name
this
is
big
on the show.
opportunity. Totally.
Now, are you going to have a drink beforehand?
I think I'm going to do the first show without it. And I'm going to do the second show, probably have two.
Two. Nice.
The second one.
What kind of drinks?
Negronis, if they're available. I doubt they will be. So if there's tequila back there or something, maybe have some lime. If there's some lime shards around.
Yeah.
I'm pretty low maintenance. I'll put a lime in my pocket.
Yeah.
Just it'll be ready to go.
You don't have a dull knife, do you? If you have a sharp one, those won't be the
Those
shards
won't
I
work.
like. I like the edges to be very ruffled.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right word.
Maybe it depends. Maybe I'll, if I don't drink between now and then, I'll probably just have one. If I do, I'll have two.
I think the first drink that you have once you've come off stage after your second set will be the tastiest drink that you've had in a long time.
You think so? I hope so, man.
I think it will be.
I'm really excited, man. This is like it's a big deal for me.
It's a big deal for all of us.
It would be fun, dude. It's just one of those things where you're like, I may never get to do that. And that's okay. I'll do other cool stuff. You know what I mean?
But I think that's one way to look at it.
Especially as time goes on.
Another way to look at it is that when you started this career, you didn't know if you would ever be able to get to do it, and you are doing it.
No, totally. And this is actually crazy too. This didn't even really exist. I'm trying to line up the timelines, but I don't even know if streaming was even really a thing. When
Yeah,
I started
Netflix
this.
was
That's
renting,
fucking
sending
crazy.
you DVDs,
Yeah,
which you had
dude.
to send back like library books.
Totally. Yeah, so I don't know, but some version of like performing on some sort of highly regarded TV network for comedy or whatever was
Sure.
always sort of like the dream. And I've done some sort of like low level ones, but nothing ever like this. So I'm pretty excited, man. And it's fun to do it. If it's going to be an umbrella, like underneath an umbrella with like a few different people, it's also fun to get to do it with like somebody who's really popping and who like his name has a ton of steam. Like these shows have been sold out forever. It's just so fun to be caught up in his gust, you know?
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you Godspeed,
Thanks,
dear
man.
friend.
Thank you.
And are rooting for you. I wish there were a way for us to sort of to watch.
Yeah. In a couple of months, it'll be on Netflix.
There you go. There you go. On Netflix proper? I thought you said it was only going to be online.
No, I didn't.
Where did I get that from?
Maybe from like the Comedy Central specials that were only online.
This is going to be properly. I
On
go into my
Netflix.
Netflix
Correct.
on my smart TV, and I can type in Giulio, and this will come up.
Yes.
Buddy,
That's cool, right?
that is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
When
I mean,
I
it's
when I
wild.
look up Francis on Netflix, they're like, "Sorry, you must have searched the wrong thing," or they like send me towards like the Great British Bake Off
Oh,
or
it's
something.
a good show. It's a good show, dude.
Yeah.
Well, dude, one last thing I want to add about the preparation process of this that I think people might be interested by. It's amazing how every set sort of dictates your level of confidence with it. So like I did the shows in Denver. I was like, I'm ready. That place is fucking amazing. Then I get back to the city. I have a couple that are like, okay. And then I'm like, eh. And then I do another one that like I thought should have been good and it was solid, but it wasn't amazing. And then like the one I did last night was awesome. You know, I actually went after one of the other guys who's on the show. He did very, very well. I was like, okay, I'll see where I'm at by this. And I like, you know, had the same level of set, at least, you know, on that show, and Felt really, really good. Feeling good right now. And I have one more tonight. We'll see how that goes. And
Awesome.
then ready to rock.
You're in good shape, pal. You're
Thanks,
as
dude.
ready as you'll ever be.
Yeah, you may be right.
Are you flying anything special out there?
Oh, dude, fucking Delta One, baby.
You got Delta One?
Oh yeah.
Did you pay for that?
Nope.
Oh my God, dude. Are you joking me?
I've never actually flown Delta One,
Buddy,
though.
so
heard it's sick.
I just booked my flights to Seattle. I'll be in Seattle May 6th to the 8th at Laugh Seattle. You can get tickets to that at francisellis.com.
What airline?
Flying Delta.
Oh, sick.
Now, on the way out there, I was looking at my flights. It's a long flight to
Yeah.
Seattle. It's 6 hours.
No joke.
And I was thinking, boy, I could really use a treat. I could use a treat. I could use a nice, comfortable seat. Something better than my typical economy bullshit. Especially on this super long flight, but I looked at the Delta One and it went from like $400 round trip.
On Delta One?
No,
Yeah.
regular.
Okay.
To, I mean, just going to Delta One just for that one leg to go out there
Mhm.
was an extra $1,500
Yeah, dude, it's so annoying how
Which was-
much of a jump it is.
out of bounds.
On a
I mean,
long flight.
then I would come home from the weekend with basically no money,
Yeah,
and I can't do that.
can't do it.
So I'm sitting like a shithead. I'm gonna have back sweat rolling down the crack between my back muscles into my butt crack. I'm gonna get kneed in the back by some petulant child behind me. I'll be dealing with the window shades going up and down.
But dude, isn't it fun?
No,
It is fun, dude.
no, it's not. Not when you
I
fly
love it.
all the time. I have been on.
I fly all the time, dude. and
I have
still
been
love
on
it.
more flights recently than ever in my life. This is the
You've
most I've
you've
been
killing it.
flying.
I'm pissed about it. You've been killing it.
I
dude.
am at the airport constantly.
So wait, so the Seattle, have you been to Seattle?
Once.
It's great.
It's a great city.
It's really fucking, that is the city that surprised me the most of, I think, any city I've been to in America.
It's
of,
cool.
Of how impressive I thought it was.
Yeah.
Sick.
Will you would you bring me back some weed from LA?
I'm like scared. dude.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I can like mail it.
Oh, you would do that?
Yeah. Can I just put like a bullshit return address?
You can just put it in your are you carrying on?
I'm carrying on.
Yeah. Dude, a friend of mine recently brought back like full-blown ounces in his
crazy.
carry-on, and they don't give a shit. The New York airport said full-blown. They were
We
like,
don't
we
look
don't
for that?
care.
I'm still scared, dude.
Yeah, forget it. I don't want to put you. I don't want that on your mind. I mean, it's selfish, but I have speaking of flying, I have an amazing story for you, as always, a flight story.
Awesome.
So we're coming back. We were in Nashville.
I want
for
to hear about the weekend too.
Yeah, we were in Nashville for the weekend at a friend's wedding. Great wedding. Lowest ask wedding that
Awesome.
I've been to.
Awesome.
The least amount of
Obligations.
yeah. Flew in Friday night, got in there early evening, went straight to the hotel. Nashville, as a city, is a city where, due to its exploding growth,
Yeah.
you can see the money that is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, I went to Nashville a year or two ago, and then I went again this weekend. The highway from the airport to the city, it's only a 15-minute drive, is brand new, paved.
Mm.
The dividers, the cement dividers in the walls are brand new. It is gleaming. It is
Yeah.
spotless. It looks as if they've added lanes to
Mhm.
mitigate traffic, which is what growing cities should do.
Mm-hmm.
It was smooth. It, everything about it just spoke of a city that is reinvesting its growth into itself, which I admire, because you look at New York City and you drive from JFK or LaGuardia to the city, you are very likely to have a tire explode, which has happened to me. The number of full-blown car-ruining potholes on the Long Island Expressway or the Brooklyn Queens Expressway you just ask yourself, where is this tax money going?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I know it's not going to Rikers. I know it's not going to the prison system. I know it's not going to the MTA. You know what's happening here? So anyway, Nashville, I will say, as a city, I admire what they're doing there. The restaurant scene is exploding. That said, it's too much of a circus.
But are you talking about like the Broadway situation?
You can't avoid it,
dude. So I would argue that the Broadway nightlife scene is the craziest non-occasion I've ever been to. It's like that for no reason.
Agreed.
Which is wild.
It's
nobody won a game. Nothing happened. You know what I mean? Nobody became president. It's just like that every day. It's fucking
dude, it's
madness.
like that Monday night,
Madness.
Tuesday night, Wednesday night.
So fun. Though,
I mean,
it's fun. It's fun to do like one night. And I know when you go for a wedding, you go do that one night and like.
It's as if you combined like the hysteria of a crappy beach town's boardwalk theme park with the Vegas Strip with, you know,
just like the most wasted Southerners you've ever seen in your life.
Piles
like
of
the drunkest people ever.
Dead dogs with flies buzzing around.
It's
you know, it's a town you could do a travel documentary on.
It's pretty crazy.
Like it's safer than you think. You know, Nashville. I mean, the paddle wagons of bachelorette parties, women screaming at the top of their lungs.
Quality live music, though.
The live music is quality, except maybe you said this, but how many times can you hear the same 7 country songs over and over and over until you just hate them? You know, and I don't know. I mean, we you know, the wedding was we were staying at a really nice hotel. Oh my God, the hotel we were staying at, it was also
what hotel?
It was the Noel, which is really nice. But Marjorie Taylor Greene was staying there.
Who's that?
She's the very controversial congresswoman who, you know, sort of like attacks the Parkland shooting victims.
Oh shit!
Like walked after one, being like, "Why are you lying?" And
oh Jesus,
you know, why are you gun control? She's very Republican. She's a massive, you know, Trump supporter, and so she was there. And there were people that were coming up to her and being like, huge fan, taking pictures, and she was very happy. And I just wanted to go up to her and be like, I don't know. But it would fly so in the face of the conversation we had about public.
Oh, about Tucker Carlson.
Like I can't do that based on my stances.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't like her. I didn't like her. And for the record, I wouldn't have liked someone from the opposite side of the aisle who's that extreme either. So let's just keep that in mind. But anybody who is that like, you know, constantly stirring the pot and just
it's not cute.
Embedding the world, encamping people farther and farther in their extreme views. I don't like those people.
It's not fun. Yeah.
Jim Jordan was there. I think he's another guy like that. I don't know what they were there for, but they were there. But we go to the wedding, and the wedding, you had to cross Broadway to get to it.
Oh wow.
And when we left for the wedding in the big bus that was taking there.
How far was it outside of the city or was it in there?
No, cool. It was a mile and a half. Cool. Really lovely thing. No problem getting there. But when the wedding ended and we had to come back to the hotel, I'm not kidding you. We were 6 blocks from Broadway, and to cross Broadway at 11 p.m., the bus was moving 10 feet every 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
So Sierra and I got out.
Oh, wow.
And walked in a suit and a dress across Broadway, which was like picking your way through some refugee camp.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we still beat the bus by like 25 minutes.
Wow. Dude, it is like that. And even just like getting a cab out of there is crazy too.
Yeah.
I like it, dude. I think I like Nashville.
I think if you went again, I don't know that you would.
So, okay, maybe,
but gotten too big.
Okay, fine, fair. But like there's other things to do. Like there's cool spots with like good cocktails and the people who live there, I actually remember this one. I went to a wedding there, which actually one of my jokes that I'm doing on the Netflix thing, I happened at this wedding in Tennessee. What was right outside of Nashville. But anyway, so we obviously went to Broadway, whatever. But the people who like live there, these people who lived there came and met up with us, and we were going like after the wedding, and they were kind of like acting like they were too cool to be there, and it kind of like killed the vibe a little bit. Because like if you're there, of course you don't go there out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I guess maybe for special occasions or whatever. I shouldn't speak for everybody in Nashville, but I went to some like really sick bars. And actually the people who remember the girl whose house I stayed in, who like I accidentally stayed in the master bedroom. She lives in Nashville, and her boyfriend, we've done like some really fun stuff with them down there and shit. Like there's some good spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. If you're in the mood, it's cool. I have to just say though that super basic bachelor and bachelorette parties, there is no visual that makes me think less of the two genders than that.
Right. And
Nothing makes me think less of men and women than seeing a group of 12 dudes or 12 ladies on a bachelor or bachelorette party.
Right. Like women with like the boing like penis helmets.
Yeah, or just like some bullshit headband with like the veil to signify that they are
right.
the one, and then they've had t-shirts made.
Yeah.
But the girls want to look cute, and the t-shirts are like crap merch. You know, that doesn't fit, so they've tucked them as tightly into their jean shorts as possible.
Because they're too big.
Because they're boxy, like chair fun run type t-shirts, you know? It's like a 5K shirt. And you know, and nobody's really that happy. I will say that, like, I think Nashville is the type of place that attracts a bachelorette party of 24-year-olds as opposed to 32-year-olds.
And they get married younger down there, too.
Correct. But, for example, I saw the counter to this in Austin. Austin has the 25-year-old bachelor party guy group, all of whom are wearing stupid Hawaiian shirts.
If they haven't torn them off yet.
Yeah, they're just like they're looking around. They don't know what to do. Nobody can get in. You can't get into a restaurant with 12 dudes,
dude,
for breakfast.
And
you know what I
like,
mean?
oh,
Like
God.
nobody can seat that many morons. It's just a liability. And yeah, I mean, it's just, you look at this and you're like, God, we there has to be a better way. I don't know.
There's something, so the stuff that you said honestly doesn't like bother me that much. Like I get that it's like fun and funny, and like there's also like some really creative bachelorette and bachelor parties that I've seen too.
Totally.
And I know you're not talking about that, but to me the biggest issue is the behavior.
Yeah.
Like
They think they own it, own the world.
they're just so drunk, and it's like, did you need to get that drunk? Like,
Yeah.
is your life that shitty that like this is your only time where you're gonna drink 7 years worth of alcohol?
Yeah.
And like, it's like crazy. Or even like you'll hear the stories, dude. I've heard about some fucked up bachelor parties too, where I'm like, you did that? Like what? Like how are you?
I don't know too much about those.
just like stories of bachelor parties where there was like dozens of hookers,
Really?
dozens of hookers, and
No
drugs,
way.
and like the father of the groom, and like
What?
yeah, dude, like dark shit.
What?
And I'm like, why? Like, is that how that's supposed to work? You're allowed to just do it all?
I mean, that's
It's
out of
so
like
stupid,
Wolf of
dude.
Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like I'm not exaggerating. All the things that I just listed were present at a specific one that I'm thinking
That
of.
you went to?
I didn't go to it, no, but I was told about it in specific detail from a very reliable source
Got it.
who attended.
Wow.
So anyway, I was like, that happens, and
Yeah.
apparently it does, dude.
Interesting. I'm blessed to not be among people who gravitate towards that level of debauchery. Having said that, the flight home.
Mhm.
So we flew southwest to Nashville. The flights were insanely expensive.
It's been expensive.
Well, and also these blowing up cities.
Yeah, the weekend flights are expensive.
Nashville, Austin have priced in the desirability of their cities to the flight prices, because you can fly farther in the United States for
Much less.
Seattle is way less expensive than it was to fly to Nashville, which is only a 2.5 hour flight.
I
So it's
wonder why
clearly
that
not
is.
it's not fuel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting.
But I found these Southwest flights. I'd never flown Southwest before. Have you flown Southwest?
I think I've flown it one time.
It's general admission boarding.
You can sit wherever you want, right?
Well, that's a nice way to put it. That's the sugar coated way to put it.
You just eat peanuts and throw the shells
It's
on the
more
floor.
like find a seat and survive.
Sorry, Hill Dog.
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious.
It's do your best to get on the plane. It's people trying to get out of Israel in World War Z.
Oh my God.
That's what it is.
Oh my God.
Find a way to survive.
Yeah, I found like Southwest seems to be really popular along routes that like the ocean is never involved. Like people I know from like Oklahoma City, Texas, like the South, like people fly Southwest a ton.
It's not as bad as some of those discount airlines that you find in Europe, like EasyJet and Ryanair.
SAS.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's definitely a little bit more elevated.
Frontier is the worst, right?
Frontier and Spirit, I think, are the worst. Yeah.
Would you say that
I've never flown. I've flown for Frontier one time.
I believe I've flown
It was a bad experience.
both once, and they suck. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least on Southwest, the legroom is okay.
That's good.
We got on in New York late because we were enjoying ourselves in the Centurion Lounge.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Shout out Platy.
Shout out the Platy boys. And we were there, and so we didn't even know about the boarding bullshit, and so we got on last, and of course there were like no seats left, so we both got we got like two middle seats in the emergency exit row, but the people were like, oh, do you guys want to sit together? And someone
nice.
gave up a middle seat. Someone gave up an aisle seat to me and took my middle seat.
Was it fucking Mother Teresa?
I know.
Dude? Jesus.
I know.
That's wild.
I know.
But this was from New York there or from there to New York?
From New York there.
Wow. What?
Yeah. So we were sitting in an emergency exit row. So it was
JFK?
LaGuardia.
LaGuardia.
Yeah. So that was really nice. And then on the way back, we thought, okay, well, we don't want to run into, even though we had good seats, that won't happen again. So we want to get to the airport a little earlier, and we want to line up as early as we can so we can sit together and make sure we have a decent seat on the way home. But here's where things get really interesting with Southwest. So they have these, I guess they have like these signs in the line that say like Group A, 1 through 10, 10 through 20, or like 11 through 20, 21 through 30. And then on the other side, it's Group B, 1 through 10,
And this is
11
how you
through
board?
20. And we were Group B or C or something like that, And so we lined up in the C line right towards the front. We weren't even looking at the numbers that I just mentioned are small on the signs.
Okay.
And we were C15.
Okay.
And I think Sierra was like C16. So each person is assigned a number.
But that doesn't actually correlate to where you have to sit.
It doesn't correlate to where you have to sit, but it does correlate to where you line up.
Okay.
It's like a kindergarten
So
fire
weird.
drill.
So like, oh, that makes sense. So this way the people with the status get better selection of the seats and stuff.
I guess. I mean, if you're talking about status to a person, that, do you know what I mean?
Isn't it first class
Yeah.
business? And then after that, it's a free for all?
Well, after that, I think my guess is that it comes down to, maybe status will give you like A boarding, or it depends on who bought their tickets the earliest.
Oh, interesting.
Because they
It's
assign
like the
a
Bolt
number
bus.
to every single person on the plane.
Okay.
Now, we didn't know that, right? Because we'd never flown Southwest. So we get into the C line, and there's a line behind us. And our number is C15, but we're in the C1 through 10 chunk.
Okay.
Okay? So there's a couple people in front of us, but not many. A woman comes up to me, and she goes, this is C, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm C2. And she steps in front of us. And I was like, what are you doing? There's a line. And she goes, nah, we're given a number. And I was like, well, no, you're given C, and everyone lines up based on that. And she was like, what does yours say? And I said, C15. She goes, okay, yeah, I'm in front of you. And I go, no, you're not. What are you talking about? And she was like, that's how it works. Now, this woman was so dry in her personality.
Was she older?
She was probably my age.
Wow.
She was very academic looking, sort of bookish. She had these
Interesting.
horn rimmed glasses, dark hair, and she was unflappable. And I go, no, you're not. You clearly, like, you line up based on, you will be in this line, but you're not in front of us. And she goes, oh, if you don't want me if you're not okay with me being in front of you, that's fine. I'll just get in behind you. And I was like, well, I don't think that's okay with the people behind us. Like, you got to go to the back of the line. She goes, that's not how it works. Now,
did you ask for a person?
I started doing Francis.
What does that mean?
I'm like, this is something I'm probably going to talk about on the podcast.
Nice.
And this is a hill upon which I am willing to die. But I need you to know before I even go any further, I was wrong.
Oh, wow.
I was dead wrong.
Wow.
She was 100%
Wow.
right, and I did not know.
So then what? Put your tail between your legs?
No, I
Bring her an
didn't
Easter
find
basket?
out as we are having this conversation. Now, one of the reasons that I was so bolstered in my position was that the woman in front of us was sort of looking back at this conversation and being like, yeah, she's wrong.
Whoa.
So she didn't know either.
Okay.
And I don't know if what I'm explaining is really making sense.
It is.
But people who have flown Southwest frequently will probably understand what I'm talking about. And, it was just so unclear to me that each person had an individual number.
Yeah.
As if you were lining up
confusing.
alphabetically
Super
per
confusing.
last name or something. It's that individualized.
And there's
in
also,
order.
there's a lot of like, quote, calling your own lines going on. Like, we need more guidance from the staff here.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we need people to intervene to take us out of situations where we're quarreling with people because of like misconceptions.
Do you know what it took for me to finally concede my point?
No.
A large, muscular, handsome black man came in front of us. And I was like, are you in C as well, sir? And he was like, yes, I'm C13. What are you? I said C15. He goes, perfect. And I was like, aha. And he goes, I fly Southwest all the time. A lot of people don't get this.
Wow.
And then I turned to the woman and I said, madam, I apologize. You were correct. And she goes, I know. But I'm not kidding you. I admire this woman so much because it was like it was as if I was using all the skills I've ever learned from comedy to deal with an unruly audience member.
Right.
With no part of me thinking avoid confrontation.
Totally.
Let this, peter out, whatever. Because I'm so
And
sure
you're
that I was
wrong.
right, and I was 100% wrong. And I almost wanted to shake her hand and say, like, good
Yeah,
doing
good
battle
on
with you.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with her.
Dude, wow.
And I mean, I don't know, man. It was a great L for me to take. I really needed that L.
Dude, it's like a metaphor too of like just women dealing with men in general.
Totally.
Like being right and allowing the man to be like, roar.
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever,
Yeah.
big shot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I felt so foolish and I felt so bad that I felt like I needed to buy her a drink or something. I don't know what it was, but
I've been there, dude. It's a terrible feeling when you're just so certain. And there's nothing more annoying than somebody who's certain and who's wrong.
Yeah.
And when I've witnessed it happening, it bothers me. even if it's just in a discussion about something. I'm
Right.
like, you don't know what you're talking about. That
Right.
pisses me off. So when I do it, it's like scarring for sure.
I will
It's a good
say,
lesson.
I will say that in my defense, she was not explaining herself or the process in such a way as to be irrefutable.
Right.
Which I think she did have I know she had the intelligence to do.
Mhm.
It was almost as if she was fucking with me a little bit,
Interesting.
as opposed to being like, you have C15, my number is C13. Do you see the numbers on the sign here? They say
Right,
they're
right,
giving
right,
you the
right,
category,
right.
like the group of the numbers. And then why would they do that without wanting people to be lining up individually?
I wonder if she knew that more people would come and that you would realize, and then that would just be like her sweet victory, or if she's just like, I'm not dealing with this shit right now. I'll go behind him. Doesn't matter.
I couldn't help but wonder if she had a podcast and was just drinking it in so as to tell the story of the dickhead redheaded fuckboy in line was at Southwest who didn't get it.
Toxic man.
You know?
Dude, I love it.
So lady, if you're out there, well played. You certainly took that one.
You
And
got it this time.
I apologize for my stoic stubbornness, my bullshit attitude. You were right.
We'll see you in line, toots.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I think that's good, bro. That's a good spot.
Yeah, let's run it out. Guys, Giulio, just send him warm wishes for the weekend. Although I think when this airs, he'll already have done it. But just tell him he did a great job. We're all thinking of him, supporting him. Anything else fun coming up?
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff new stuff added this summer that I'm locking in and that I'm excited to. But I'm coming to a bunch of places that you guys have been DMing me about, so I'm looking forward to that. Francis, what do you got going on?
Yep, I got Seattle this weekend. I hope to see some of you there. Laugh or Laughs Seattle. I'm also in Boston, May 19th to the 21st. Big weekend. Laugh Boston. Tickets for both of those weekends are available at francisellis.com. We love you. Thank you. And we'll see you soon.